Okay. I believe I'm live. As far as I can tell, anyway, yeah. Should be no issues. I don't think anything's muted. I don't think anything's off. So, okay. Yeah. Not 100% sure on this one. Just kind of jumping in. I did see that I think some stuff dropped that I haven't had a chance to look at, so this will be somewhat of a window shop, but we'll see what's going on in general. What's up, Greg? Man, I haven't seen you in a minute. There, let me go ahead and put you on the screen even. Look at that. There you are. Hey, man. Oh, and I think I figured out what was going on with my mic on the other stream, so I believe I fixed that. And I don't understand how this happened, but in my default window settings, which this has never happened to me before, so I really don't know how it happened. In my default window settings, when we were filming on Fandom Night, my mic was dropped from, I normally keep it at 60 for its pickup, because I feel like that's a nice crisp sound. It doesn't over-exaggerate anything and whatnot. But for some reason, it dropped it all the way down to 8. That's why I was whispering in the stream that we did on Fandom Night. I don't know why that happened. What's going on, Master Versal? Oh, Jake. Jake is here. All right, man. People are jumping in. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not 100% on this one. I do know that at the very least, without a doubt, I want to go over to the two main places that I go to and want to kind of check it out because I think some stuff dropped that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. Every time I plug my mic in, Window auto-tunes it down to like 60. See, that's funny. With this mic, I prefer to keep it at 60. So, yeah, absolutely wild. Let's see. I'm streaming old Reploid production vids either tomorrow or Sunday. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? You mean like on Fandom Night? What are you gonna do? I'm very curious what you mean by that. Because if we're gonna, no, we can't. Like, I wish we could get. In all honesty, I'd love to get into that account, download the stuff that like matters, delete the stuff that doesn't, kill the channel off completely so we're not like competing with ourselves in the search engines and stuff like that, and then take a bunch of stuff and premiere it on Fandom Night, in all honesty. But so far that hasn't really been an option. Yes, it was. That was a big unboxing today. Like, that's actually the reason I'm surprised that I'm here right now, that I decided to jump on tonight, because I almost told myself, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but then I decided, you know what, I've been doing it every Friday, there's no reason to stop at this point. Oh, okay, the monster, okay, no, yeah, we did, there's also that old Slasher one that we did, the Slasher talk, but like something is majorly wrong with the audio on that one. Okay. So let's see. One of the first things I want to do is I want to come in here. I got to get this. I think I'm looking for that. Okay. So let me go here. That looks about right. Okay, as far as I could tell, this should work like it always is supposed to work, and I guess we'll know here in a second. Oh, I didn't even turn it on. Duh. Now we'll try it again. Oh, look at that with the doing it. I'm so good. Okay. All right, let's check this out. First off, I definitely want to bring this up. I want to check out the DC Direct because there's a couple things in there that I see that I may be interested in. Exclusive. I don't really care. Just going across the top bar right now. These tiki mugs. There's a Grayskull tiki mug that I always see that they try to sell to me, and I'm always like, I don't need a tiki mug. ghosts. Like, is it just me with the Star Wars thing, or have they done so much at this point that there's like nothing left? Like, I'm legit curious, because like now I'm seeing ghosts. They're selling the ghosts, and they're selling the communications, like the blue thing or whatever. Like, why are they doing that? Like, and then again, I guess if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna call out my thing as well, because Motu years back with like Super 7, they were doing like frozen Tila, and it was just see-through blue. That's all they did. They just casted her in see-through blue plastic and sold her again. So like, I mean, I guess I get it, but like the Star Wars thing, I'm starting to notice there's an awful lot of them that like I all of a sudden don't have any interest in. Even going back to Star Wars recently to collect a couple of things to kind of even out the shelf where my Star Wars is, I've had zero interest whatsoever in like getting any of it. And it almost bothers me, like where the toy stuff seems to be. So let's see, let's go here, and we'll start here, Masters of the Universe, because there was a couple things I want to check real quick. These are fine. I've already got Trapjaw and I've got Tila coming, so that's not a problem. I don't have Keldor. Nor can I buy anything right now. This is very much window shopping, but I have to keep Keldor in mind because he's one that I want, but I absolutely cannot spend money until a couple of weeks go by. I got ransacked today for $87. It had no idea it was coming somehow. And I haven't been on the PlayStation for like 7-8 months. And then all of a sudden it auto re-upped my frickin' Plus. I honestly wish they couldn't do that. I wish it had to ask me every time, because I had no idea. I just all of a sudden got a notice in the mail that was like, hey, thanks for your purchase. And I was like, I didn't purchase shit. And then I went and looked, and I'm $87 down on my card now because it auto-upped my subscription to a service that I honestly haven't used in 2 years. And that's not an exaggeration. The last time I re-upped the PlayStation Plus subscription, it wasn't for me. It was literally so I could get a game for my daughter. And that was it. And that was also on accident. I bought the game, and when I bought the game, it automatically... So I bought Spider-Man Miles Morales for my daughter, and when I bought it, it automatically purchased the next year of PlayStation Plus. And I remember being super pissed about that, to the point where I didn't touch the subscription. Like, I was so mad. And I even tried to call them, and they were like, there's nothing we can do. It says here that you bought the subscription. And I was like, no, I didn't. I bought a game, and it automatically charged me because my subscription had been down for like 4 months. And I was super pissed about that. And now they did it again, where they just auto subscribed me, and there's also nothing I can do. I can't even get into that account. When I try to sign into that account, it tells me that I have a 2-step verification on that account, and I haven't had a 2-step verification on that account. I never put one on there, so I have no idea where that even came from. But if nothing else, I guess I'm lucky. This is the last time they can ever charge that card, because that card will be dead next month. So I guess problem solved, but they really shouldn't have been able to do that in the first place the way they do it. And they make it difficult on purpose to get rid of them as well. William Shatner, yeah, he absolutely was, man. He absolutely was. But regardless, PlayStation problems. I always have PlayStation problems. I don't know why. it was my preferred console for years, but since PlayStation 3, I've had nothing but bad luck and bad customer experiences with them. These I need to think about. I need these turtles. The turtles I want. Maybe not every single thing. That may be a cherry pick line as well, but I do want the turtle stuff. I think it's really cool. Otherwise, I think I've got everything else on the way. Because I've got Mechanic, he's on the way. I've got Triclops, he's on the way. I've already got him. He's on the way. She's on the way. He's on the way. I think I just got to notice that him and Mechanic are on the way. So pretty much everything that I need. And these I imagine will stay. These will stay for a while. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers because like I said, it's going to be a month or two before I make a recovery and start buying stuff again. But I imagine the turtles will still be around. Usually, unless it's a Mattel Creations thing, I can skip on most of the stuff that exists in Motu, and it will come back around. I can get it later. So I should be fine. I really shouldn't have any problem with that. And absolutely, yeah, the Shredder is really, really cool in this Motu line. But that's Motu. And I just wanted to double check and make sure that nothing had like slipped my mind. But this guy right here, definitely need Keldor. And otherwise, I'm not too worried about it because I don't need Zodak. I will get Zodak in Masterverse. I'm not so much worried about Zodak in Origins. I hard cherry picked the Origins line at this point. But let's see. G.I. Joe. There's a reason I want to look at this. These are kind of crazy to me. Like, look at that. Look at that right there. That is $55. That is $55 for Lady J. And maybe you could argue it's 7-inch. It very much looks like the cartoon. That's impressive. I mean, I will say it's impressive. But, like, I'm starting to have a bad taste with Super 7. Super 7's starting to feel a little overpriced to me. It's starting to bother me. Like, and G.I. Joe is definitely one of those things that really points it out to me. Because, like, I could get Lady J, or even, like, here, look, there's Classified right there, okay? And, yeah, maybe that's not the face that you like. So there's an argument to be had here. But, look, this is $24. And arguably, I'm not going to argue for the faces, but the bodies on a personal level on the Hasbro's Classified series, the bodies are absolutely fantastic. These are some of the best figures I have ever seen at this price point. Like, they're just so good. And for the most part, I haven't hated any of the faces. I'm not sure. I'm not really sold on this one yet. But even most of the faces that a lot of people seem to dislike, I've seemed to have been okay with. Like, I need him. I need Jungle. I'm going to get Jungle because he's absolutely something I want. And I want Duke. And he looks fine to me. I heard some people cry about this. I think that's absolutely fine. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I don't hate his face sculpt. Most of the face sculpts I'm fine with. Like, he's one that I picked up that I like quite a bit. But, like, it just... I'll give it to them here. Cartoon style, but that's a key here. This is cartoon style. Her face is arguably better than the Classified version. But I really don't think it's worth $55. And overall, I don't think their bodies are very good. Like, I really don't care for this as much as I care for the other one that we just looked at. Like, I find her to have a better body sculpt. I just do. Better body sculpt. I like the two ponytails. I like that it's a more realistic detail, but maybe that's the idea too. I'm not going for a cartoon edge. Maybe that's the reason that it bothers me. But it's not just that. Super 7 has actually been starting to bother me a lot recently. I kind of think that they I kind of feel like they're just overpriced. It really bothers me. He-Man letter opener. I don't have a letter opener, but I do have the scaled prop replica that I keep right here on my desk. And it is a power sword. So I do have something actually very close to being a letter opener, like right there on my desk anyway. Let's see. You might have to cancel that card number maybe. Then get a new one. Well, like it cancels March 1st. So like it'll be gone anyway. But it drives me crazy that they have been allowed to do that to me 2 different times now. And like I said, I can't even get into that account. I can't. And when I call their customer service, they will not let me into the account. They just keep asking for things like, they're like, oh well, what's your name? What's this? Blah blah blah. And I give them all my information, and then they go, well, it says here that you have a 2-step verification. I'm like, I never put a 2-step verification on that account. And they're like, okay, so go into the account, put your thing in, and I put my password in, and I get all this, and the system will say, hey, you have a 2-step verification. And then they'll say, so put in that code. I'm like, I never put that code on there to begin with. I didn't do that. Why can't I get into that account? And then they'll say something like, well, it says here that you have a 2-step verification, and you just can't get through them. I've been on their customer service line 4 different times trying to fix it before I just finally literally unplugged the PlayStation and gave up. Like I'm just done with it. Super 7 puts a lot of effort into their figures. I agree sometimes. But for all the effort that they put in, that's becoming a pricely game. Like $55 a figure at minimum is really making me have difficulties into what I'll buy into from the Ultimates line. I do like a lot of their Ultimate stuff, but then again, I'll argue maybe it's a stylistic thing too, because like I don't like their Power Rangers, in all honesty. I prefer Hasbro's Power Rangers designs to the Super 7 designs. When I got the Green Ranger, rather when my buddy Shane got the Green Ranger, I got to look at his Ultimates Green Ranger, and there was zero envy in that Green Ranger as opposed to the one that I seen in the remaster line or whatever. I just don't. It's just not. It's not for me. What's going on, man? He's going. What? Picked up a spirit for. Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Is G.I. Joe the name of the team or the protagonist? Because that confuses me a lot. I mean, you'd only ever have to watch a single episode to know that G.I. Joe is the team. I mean, that kind of surprises me that you wouldn't know that. I mean, it's a toy line. It's a team. Yeah, it's absolutely the team. Like you'd know it in a single episode, single movie, single anything, like, or even a single comic book. Every character is their own character. There's no actual G.I. Joe, as far as I'm aware. Maybe there was back when the line first launched or whatever, all the way back when they were big dolls or something. But no, the G.I. Joe is a team. And really, it's a line, if you want to get even more technical than that, because inside of G.I. Joe, the toy line, you then break down into certain segments. Like, of course, there's Cobra, and then there's different areas inside of that. Like, there's the Now, I don't watch G.I. Joe, and I don't read G.I. Joe, so I know part of this. I know there's the Team G.I. Joe, there's Cobra, there's another force outside of Cobra, which I think it carries a different name, but I can't remember for sure. There's a group called like the Morlocks, which that's a different group altogether that has its own factions and things like that. So, yeah, G.I. Joe is really... I mean, there is a team G.I. Joe, but then there's like Tiger Force and stuff like that or whatever inside of that division. So I'd say maybe it's a toy line in terms of a catch-all reference, if that's what you're asking. That Helix is cool. I like Helix. I really do. I think Helix is an awesome figure. But we're gonna leave that right now because I think I'm done in there. I did what I needed to do specifically. I just wanted to take a look at G.I. Joe more than anything, actually. Let's see. Yeah, I know. I own it. I bought that entire collection that comes with like the entire series plus the movie, and I just finished a long series not way too long ago. It takes a lot to get through stuff. Like, you only have so much time. I'll get to it. It'll take me forever, but I'll get to it. If it did only a few times and then no reruns to I mean, you can watch stuff like that. There's a 24-hour cartoon channel for G.I. Joe that just plays live episodes all day long on YouTube. G.I. Joe's been free for years now. Not that I'm telling you to like run out and watch it as quick as you can, but I'm just saying if you ever had an inkling to do it, there's literally nothing stopping you. So here's the new ones, and they sold out fast. I heard they were going to sell out fast. Ugh. Like, what is that? Are you kidding me? Oh, he has a terrible smiling face, a frowning face. That is supposed to be that? No. Come on, McFarlane. That is that? No. Stop it. Stop it. What is that? Come on. Neither of those faces are this. They're not even close, man. You would have done yourself more of a favor just going over to Hasbro's G.I. Joe line and stealing a Duke head and remodeling it slightly. Like, this is terrible. I mean, I didn't want a Fishman to begin with, but thanks for guaranteeing that I didn't want him. Like, that is awful. That sold out. People, you like your Fishman more than I do, okay? I'm going to give it to you. You love your Fishman way more than I do because there is no way. No way. That is a hard no for me. Absolutely no. There was a movie with Charlie Adler, Buster Bunny, Cobra Commander. He was my favorite, Cobra Commander. I don't know who that kid is. I don't know. Is that supposed to be an Aqua Lad? Or no, it can't be. There's no way. I don't know who that kid is. I don't know Aquaman enough, but I know that comic line that they took that Aquaman from, and that's there's no way. He looks nothing like Jason Momoa. Oh my gosh. Yes, he does. He very much does. Well, okay, look, man, you saved me some money on that one. I don't want a Fishman. Okay, okay, comes with the Bruce Wayne head. This is still a no for me, to be fair. But it's not that bad. Maybe you could argue on the colors. Maybe you could argue on the colors that this shouldn't be a bright blue. But it's not bad. It's pretty good. It looks like this is taken from the early DC Rebirth era. Is that what we're looking at here? I don't think it's a terrible Bruce Wayne head sculpt. It's not great, but it doesn't cause me the same discomfort that the other one did. He's fine. Pretty sure these are partly. Wonder if he's trying to cash in on the fact that he just did a very successful line, with the Nightfall Batman that he put out, which was an absolutely fantastic Batman, by the way. This, I don't think that I would be interested. I agree with blue. It is a blue color, but I think that's way too shiny blue. Maybe you're arguing that this is him in the absolute direct sunlight. And to be fair, he was. Maybe I'd have to go back and look at those books again. I have, like, the first 2 years of DC Rebirth. I don't remember him being that blue. Maybe he was. Maybe I'm mistaken. It's very possible that I'm mistaken. And yes, I don't know why, but a lot of these pictures, they give like a lipstick effect. That I haven't noticed that on the couple figures that I've bought from this line. I haven't noticed them. I notice them in the pictures all the time, but I don't seem to notice it when I actually buy it. Let's see. It's going to be a hit. It's going to be a hit. Watch it. Watch it be a hit. I'm just telling you. Watch a live action Minecraft movie be an absolute hit. Just watch it happen. Watch. Nope. I'm fine. Nope. Block guys walking around in the real world. It's going to be a hit. I don't know. There's something about the blue that really does throw me off, though. It doesn't seem right to me. It bothers me somehow. Let's see here. We got Jordan. Are you the Jordan that I want? Come on, you could do better than that. And first off, you've reused these freaking flamey fist things like 20-something times. And stop doing that. Stop doing that right there. That is a trigger finger hand. He doesn't have a gun. He will not have a gun. You're not even allowed to sell guns because of the DC rules that say that your figures can't be sold with guns. Stop printing this hand. Stop it. Like, a grip hand is fine. You want to give him a grip hand for the lantern, that makes sense. Stop doing these trigger finger hands. I know it's easy reuse. I get it. You save money where you could save money. But since you already know you can no longer use guns, you can no longer sell guns in this line, then just get over it. Craft a new hand and reuse that new gripping hand 700,000 times. Stop giving trigger finger hands. Like, I don't know why, but that honestly bothers me. I'm tired of these flame effects on every single guy, and I'm tired of this trigger finger hand when they don't have guns. Stop it. Look at that. It looks awkward to me. Am I the only one that has that issue, that I'm tired of getting trigger finger hands for these figures that don't have guns? Starring Tom Cruise. That'd be fantastic. Is it wrong because Batman is usually full black with it? No, Batman's been a lot of different shades. In fact, he's more commonly gray and dark blue than he is anything else. I don't know. They could save some money by bending it into a pointer finger. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, I get it. Now that I'm at work, my PlayStation Live was going to come out after 4 minutes of following a tutorial. I canceled it, so I got frustration of getting rid of my subscription. So, yeah, but that's what I mean. They even make it difficult to stop. Like, when you... Whatever. I have a year of plus, again, that I can't use for the second year in the row. I'm so done with PlayStation. I'm so done with it. I don't hate this Hal Jordan. He seems very early comic books. Like, maybe we're looking at... Is this early 80s? Late 70s? Is that what we're looking at here? Which Lantern is that? What comic book is this supposed to be from? Green Lantern. That's all it says. It doesn't... Okay, so he's not based on an era or like a specific comic or specific artist. He looks like the Hal Jordan. If I had to guess, I'm guessing he's early 80s, late 70s. That's where it feels like I've seen this before. That's not terrible. Could I put that on the shelf alongside the other lanterns that I have right now? He'd probably fit. He'd probably fit. Silver Age. Oh, so am I right? Did I tag him right? Because, yeah, that puts him in the Silver Age. Okay. All right, then. Yeah. I could probably put him on the shelf. Would I? I don't know. But I don't think he would hurt anything. Okay. Oh my, what's going on here? Not about how, not a bad Hal. It's just, I'm sorry, but McFarlane can't scale their figures at all. No, everybody's about the same height. You just kind of get used to it. You're buying a $20 figure line, so I mean, you just kind of deal with it. You want something, you know what you're doing. Do I have an Xbox? Yes, and I don't play that either. Almost all of my consoles right now gather dust. I have my own PlayStation sub horror story. I called my bank to do a charge, and PlayStation wrote me a mean email. Like, I'm so done with them. I'm done with them for shady crap like that, for one, and I'm also done with them for the fact that they've done this to me twice, and I've been locked out of my account for so long now that Shane even came over and was like, I'm going to get you back in that account. And he screwed around with it for like 2 hours and was like, this account is dead. He can't get into it either. And then they're like, oh, well, if you'd like to go on the chat system and chat with the robot for a while, maybe it can help you. No, it can't. The heck is that muscle area with the abs? Let's see. Just canceled mine as well after you reminded me. It's extremely easy to cancel if you're on the system itself. I can get on the system, but I can't get into my I can't get into the account. So no, it's not easy for me. I can't get into the account via the phone. I can't seem to sign into the account via the system. And if I go to their customer service, they just kind of jerk me around until I give up. I've been doing this for a while now, and finally I just quit. I have not turned my PlayStation on in well over 7 months. All right, man. See you next week, twice even. New Frontier. Cover for Green Lantern looks like an old one. Well, I mean, they're calling him a Silver Age, so yeah. Hot Wheels. No, I'm not. We're not going to Hot Wheels. I have zero interest in Hot Wheels. No more Best Buy stories because Best Buy and most other mass retailers are like, well, to be fair, I don't have any Best Buy stories because I don't go there. Like, unless I absolutely have to, I have not gone back to Best Buy in a very, 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 very long time. See, scaling down. I saw this 1984 Godzilla that you can buy now. I don't think I see anything that we're gonna focus on here. Probably gonna head over to Big Bad. Pew. Okay, so here we're gonna look at this for the sake of. We're not gonna mess with clearance. The clearance is pretty extreme right now. There's a lot of clearance. Oh, we are gonna click on that. Oh, neat. She's back in circulation. We're going to check that. Oh, we're going to look at these. The Christmas figures are ridiculous. They're amazing. Oh, we're going to look at him. We're going to look at that. And that is... Oh, we're going to look at this thing, too. Look at that. Look at Guy and Cody Final Fight, man. That is pretty cool. Like, I wouldn't buy it, but it's legit cool for anybody that is like into Street Fighter, into the Street Fighter universe, the Final Fight stuff. They're done pretty well, man. You gotta hand it to them. Impressive. Let's see. Not going through many of these. I've been seeing this Chun-Li working out statue that they've been throwing around. I've seen it all over the place. People are buying it and making a big praise about it. I bet you that's why they're making a big praise about it, is because she's got that butt. That's actually pretty cool right there. Yeah, I don't have a 670 drop right now in my future, like at all, especially right now. That's actually pretty cool right there. Check that out, man. Fei Long and Blanca. Oh my gosh. I sometimes feel like they buff up Fei Long too much. Like, on a personal note, I always felt like when we were back in the PlayStation 2, he was a skinnier, leaner build as compared to the other guys, which were like super huge. But then like they did the Street Fighter 2 movie, like the animated movie, and they kind of bulked him up in that. And then I noticed his 3D models when they started coming out, like in 4, they bulked him up. And then ever since then, he's kind of been a bigger dude. At least as far as I've noticed. $600 Cammy. I mean, you know I like Cammy, but no. That's too much right now. It would probably be too much ever, in all honesty. I can't see myself buying something like that right now. No, I'm going to stick with ever. I don't think I ever would have bought this. Now, if you showed me like a cami, just like a straight up cami, not a swimsuit model thing or whatever. I guess she is, no matter what. You can't get away from that, but you get what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's go back to the chat real quick, see if people are talking. He says, Indiana Jones. I don't do Indiana Jones figures, so I don't know. Oh, were you talking about that? That was cards. They're playing cards. The TMNT stuff. I want that Batman. What, the Batman we were talking about from McFarlane? Is that the one we're talking about? Weightlifting. Because of the water bottle. Okay. Thoughts on Suicide Squad game? I didn't play it. And that's another thing, too. I think that's why it irritated me so much that this has been happening with PlayStation with me, is because I haven't been playing a whole lot of games at all. Like, I work on this show, and I work, I have my kid, and the closest thing to gaming right now that I've been doing is that every now and then I put about 2 or 3 hours into an RPG on the Switch. And that's about it. And I've been playing Dragon Age 2 off and on for a while. I haven't been playing games like at all. Like literally at all. It's kind of wild. No, that's not necessarily true, especially lately. I've seen an awful lot of these figures that come out. In fact, I point it out all the time on my on my channel, right here on this channel. I point it out all the time. I'm like, look, this person has no butt. Like, yeah, he's basically their Bruce Lee clone. That's basically what he is. You could pretty much guarantee one to be in just about every single fighting game franchise. Like Dead or Alive has Jan Lee, Tekken has martial law, so on and so forth. Let's see. Okay, let's check some of these out. That is pretty cool. First appearance Cell. This Thundercats wave looks to be more promising than the last one I saw, but it's Tengus, huh? A 2-pack of Tengus? Oh, there's that pig. Sometimes I want to buy that pig just to give to Shane because he hates that pig. Oh, he's not a statue. I thought he was a statue. Is he? Is he mostly a statue? He's almost like a Slex. Yeah. He's like a figure that's awfully close to basically just being a statue. Like he's like a Slex. You're a Fig Arts, huh? That surprises me, because usually I feel like Fig Arts... Maybe it's just his design. Maybe he hides his seams better than most of the other Fig Arts that I've seen. Or maybe they're getting really, really good. Because, like, I've noticed that Fig Arts, it's very easy to see all their little seams. Not that that's necessarily a deal breaker or anything. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, because, like here's Fig Arts right here. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, with... You see all of his seams. You see it on the knees and all the ball sockets and everything like that. You can tell where all the movement is going to come from. That's a good thing, as well as it is somewhat of a bad thing. You could make a statement for it being a bad thing if you like your figures to be more like select figures where they're not as pronounced in their joints, but then they don't move as well either. You can't get like this out of a figure that doesn't have good moving joints. So... But that's the reason that Cell kind of took me by surprise, because normally you can really see all the movement that these characters are going to give you. This would be really cool, by the way. That he's come all the way down to $35. I would love to have a solid Krillin on my shelf, but like I said, this is not a money time for Bill. This is an absolute broke Bill moment right now. Let's see, we got more talking in the chat going on. You get a lunchbox with Pig Monster. Gotta say, Pudgy Pig is a dumb name. Way funnier than the one he got in Zoranger. 15 different figures. Oh, I don't know anything about that, to be fair. I mean, I remember seeing him in the Zoranger one, but I don't remember his name or nothing like that. No. What's with the... Why do the Tengus come with Lord Zed lightning effects? Is there... Am I forgetting something? I don't remember Tengus ever having lightning stuff. Like, I'm really confused about that. Why did we give them lightning bolts? I'm really drawing a blank here. I do not remember Tengus doing lightning. Ever. Yeah. I agree. When did they have lightning? Like, I'm very confused about that. Like, very lost. Oh well. We just get to move on. We're not worried about it now. Whatever. Mythic Legions. I've got one on the way. Only one. And it'll be the first one of these that I've ever, like, straight cashed into. Because, see, here's my thing with Mythic Legions. It's not a bad thing. It is what it is. I often come in here, see some stuff that I really like, don't have the money at the time, am busy with other things, and then walk away. Then come back to try to get something that I thought was really cool, and it's gone up to like $100+. Like, it can be very rough if you miss out on something Mythic Legions. Like, these two right here are something that I honestly want. But, like I said, it is not a money month for Bill. It's a do overtime month for Bill and try to get back into having some frickin' money. He's cool. He would be really cool. I know that's a really simple thing. It's just like a skeleton in armor, but it would be really, really cool. I could do some real cool shots and some real cool setup with him. Like if I had him and Vicron and Red Sonja and they could fight skeleton men, that would be cool. But it's really hard to army build or justify the buying of skeleton men from something like Mythic Legion when it's $40 per skeleton and like you buy 5 skeletons, it means you couldn't buy 4 other figures that you really wanted. And maybe even more than that, because if you're talking about $25 figures as opposed to the $40 and $50 figures, you get the idea. Mythic Legions is completely awesome. It is worth the money. But you're going to pay for it or you're going to aftermarket it. If you have to aftermarket it, you're screwed. Like, you know, yeah, I don't remember any lightning. I mean, yeah, he did shoot lightning at them and they blew up. But I'm still not, I don't get it. I don't get it. I see your perfect pun. I see it. No, because other things in the Lightning collection didn't come with lightning or anything like that. I don't know why they gave him lightning. It's just a really weird choice. It doesn't make sense. And I saw that again, by the way. Let's see. Let's move on from him. She's one I want. I need some wizard characters for the shelf. Like, this would be really cool. I think she is absolutely awesome. She's sculpted very well. I like her little skeleton thing. I really like that wand. And that staff, her wand, her staff, follows the principal guideline, the rule that I always stress when it comes to staves. If you're going to give somebody a staff, if they're going to have a Z staff like Lord Zed, that staff should touch the ground and go up a little over the head. That's what they should do. That's what the Havoc staff does in Masterverse. That's what the Hero staff does in Masterverse. That's what the Sorceress staff does in Masterverse. Those are how I like my staves to be. They need to be like this. This is perfect. It touches the ground. It goes up a little over the head. Perfect. I'm in love with that. I love the soft goods, and it looks like it's wired soft goods too. Mythic Legion is so cool, man. And look at that. Look at that head sculpt, man. That is fantastic. And I love this snake effect that can go down around. It's so cool. That is cool. Mythic Legions is so good. And look at that eye right there. That is so good. I love this. The way that shadow kind of plays in there. I realize that's a lighting effect because somebody's taking a picture and they know what they're doing. But I know what I'm doing when I take pictures too, so I can do that. Look at these. There's 2 different heads. Both of them are fantastic. You couldn't go wrong with either one. The battle armor is just enough to really cut the mood. I love this. This is one that I've had my eyes on for a while. I have to wait because I really can't buy anything right now. This is window shopping at its finest right now. Before I can even, literally, before I could do anything in terms of buying anything, Bill has to buy pants. Yes. I was down to like 4 pairs, and then I was down to 2 pairs, and then the 1 pair that I had is now damaged because of work, and now I've got 1 pair. So I've actually had to order a couple pairs of pants have sent to me. And I literally had to order it because like I'm not paying the prices in store right now, and I tried to go to like a Ross. And surprisingly, they did not have jeans. They just had like a bunch of slacks, and I do not wear slacks. So, yep, Bill has to buy pants. Doing stop motion would be great with this figure. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. And it's true. It lends itself to that kind of property. Like, I love Mythic Legion, man. Mythic Legion is so good. Speaking of Mythic Legion, go on to the next guy I was talking about that I want. This dude. This old wizard dude is once again something that I just feel is really cool. I don't have a lot of... I mean, I do because I collect Masterverse, so I do have some Magic guys on the shelf, but like, not like this. Like, and because we missed out on Keklar, we didn't get Keklar. I mean, there you go. He's awesome. Now, the problem... I've never owned a Mythic Legion. So look, regardless of the scale that Mythic Legions would claim, I've never had one in my hands. So when you do action figures, this is just for anybody in here that doesn't do this as a normal hobby. You get the idea. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to educate necessarily. I'm just explaining my issue. You could buy 2 figures from 2 different lines that both claim to be 7-inch scale. Some of these figures scale high. Some of these figures scale low. Some of these figures scale like McFarlane, where they're pretty much all the same height. Like for some reason, Batman and Robin are the exact same height, exact same build, exact same frame. That's not right, comic-wise. But if you want these figures and you want them at an affordable price and you happen to be collecting the Todd McFarlane line stuff, then that's what you do. But if you buy them... they're like, all their scaling is weird. And their figures, even for the size that they're claiming and the inch relativity that they claim, they're kind of big guys. All of them are like really big guys. Now, Masterverse goes for about a 7-inch scale, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure that's what they are. And I'm fine with that. They all seem to be very well done in terms of the scale they've chosen to do. But I've gotten figures before that then claim to be 7-inch figures, and then put them with the Masterverse figures, and they're small. They're like easily an inch, if not more, under the Masterverse guys that I currently have on the shelf. So you really got to watch it with scaling, because they will throw curveballs at you from one company to another. And I have never held a Mythic Legions in my hand. So until I do that, I don't know how this guy will scale or where he will go on the shelf according to. Now, he could be a littler old man, and I maybe could get away with that, kind of crossing, that kind of idea, but I don't know yet. So I've never had one, and I need one, and then I'll make a decision, and I have one on the way. It's a ways off, but I have one on the way, and then hopefully these 2 wizards, these 2 magic people will be around long enough that I can get them. That is sick. I love that. Oh, he comes with 2... Is that 2 different effects that they have wrapped around one another? Or is that one effect that wraps into the same effect? Either way, that's really cool. So this goes around the staff here. He's got all these different hands. I like his book. I like his tome. That's really awesome. Yeah, this dude is awesome. Poxus Samir, look, I'm probably butchering this poor guy's name. Cool old wizard dude. Done. I want him. I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold on him. Okay. Pew. Mafex. Oh, this is one of those. This is exactly what I was talking about. I've talked to people that buy Mafex, and they all tell me the same thing. Mafex, for the scale they claim to be, they scaled down. So all their figures that if you get them and you put them alongside other figures that claim to be of the same scale, they seem to scale a little smaller. Sometimes that's not a big deal. Sometimes it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Sometimes it does. And I've heard the biggest complaint with Superman, that the Superman is an absolutely unbelievable, fantastic Superman, but he scales a little short compared to other Supermen in the same scale line. The same scale, but done by different lines that kind of choose their 7-inch to be a little taller than Mafex chooses their 7-inch to be. And that's somewhat nerve-wracking sometimes, especially, look at this. This Storm is awesome. She's also $80. Right now, she normally costs over $100. So you get the idea. If you buy her and you're under the impression that she's a 112 scale, And that seems fine. You're looking at 6-inch figures, 5.9 inches. But then you go and you put her with one of your 6-inch figures, and you know how tall Storm is supposed to be. And then she's like shorter than you would imagine she's supposed to be because the line scales down. That is nerve-wracking. I just wish NECA D&D line could get more popular so we could get good 7-inch fantasy characters and accessories. And I understand that. That's kind of what I'm talking about too, is you never know exactly where some of these figures that you really, really like are going to go, because if they end up being too small and you don't have anything to kind of put with them, then that kind of kills the idea for buying them at all, right? It really messes it up. Boxes and chicken pox boxes. Let's move on from her. This is awesome that this Psylocke is back in circulation. This was the first Mafex I ever saw. It was her. I did not realize, because toys are a funny thing, man. Toys are a word of mouth type of thing. Like, if you're going to a Target every day and you're the kind of person that collects from retail, you will never know what is out there until somebody says something, or you're watching somebody else's channel and somebody goes, hey, Mafex. This was the first introduction to Mafex that I ever had. I'd never heard it before. It was just one of those companies that had not come up in my rotation of things that I collected. And then one day, all of a sudden, somebody was like, hey, there's a Psylocke Mafex. And I was like, Mafex what? And they were like, that's the line, Mafex. And then I went and I looked at her and I was like, oh man, she's awesome. And then I started looking at Mafex and being like, oh man, Mafex is sick. Like, these are good ass figures. Like, this is the kind of thing where oftentimes with a Mafex, on a personal opinion anyway, except for the scale, because you gotta know who you're gonna put them with, right? Who you're gonna match them with. When you buy a Mafex, chances are that's the last one you buy. So yeah, she costs $90. But let's put that into perspective here. When you buy Marvel Legends, the same character comes out every other week, and you keep buying that figure every other week. It feels like that. It starts to feel like that. Hey, buy Spider-Man. Hey, get him again. Hey, get him again. Hey, get him again. Hey, get him again. Here's your 5th Cyclops. You get the idea. These, oftentimes, McFarlane puts out 12 Superman. Mafex will put out 1 Superman. And if you buy it, that's the only Superman you need. You don't need another one on the shelf. It's pretty much, these guys are pretty much making a standard of becoming the end all. Hey, you want the best Gambit? Just get the Mafex, put him on your shelf. Don't worry about it. You don't got to buy another one. At this point, you've closed that part of your collection if you're the kind of person that likes one definitive, right? You don't collect like 7 Gambits, which you could, but I'm just saying, some people are like this. I'm a lot like this, actually. Most of the time, especially on my Marvel shelf, I like to get one definitive. That's it. I'll put a She-Hulk up there. I'm done. Once I have one I like, I'm done. It sits on the shelf. I don't need another. Once I have the Wolverine that I wanted, specifically one Wolverine, I wanted Tiger Stripe Wolverine. Do I have a couple others? Yes. But in the end, the only thing I was going for was one. That's all I cared about. And ever since I've got that Wolverine, every other Wolverine that they've been announcing, they're like, hey, Wolverine with a cowboy hat. And I'm like, I don't care. They're like, with a t-shirt, I don't care. Brood, I don't care. It's not, I'm not indifferent. I'm not like, don't buy Wolverines, it's a waste of your time. But like, for me, I've got the one I want. I've got my childhood Wolverine on the shelf, as good as he's ever been for me in terms of me handling a figure. That 97 Wolverine was an absolute... He's easily in my best figures of the last year. I loved that figure, and he's definitive. They're gonna have to blow my mind with another Tiger Stripe to get me to buy again. I've got him. I've got what I want. But these Mafex often feels like exactly that. You buy this Psylocke, you won't be needing another. You won't. Unless that's like your all-time favorite character and you want every variant, you won't be needing another. And yeah, see, like this. I have this Wolverine on the shelf, but not Mafex. I have him from Legends, of course. And the Legends one is okay, but it ain't this. I don't even need to get him off the shelf. I can look right at this and tell you that is better than the one that's on my shelf. It's better. That is better than the one on my shelf. Definitively. I can look right at it right now and tell you that. And if he scales well, if he goes on the shelf and he looks right next to all the other Legends, I don't need another X-Force Wolverine like ever. I've got the one that I need. And you could argue with Spider-Man too. That's a really good classic variant. Now, on a personal note, I don't feel that this Spider-Man is as good as the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. That Renew Your Vows Spider-Man is shockingly good. I mean, this is good. And maybe because of color scale, maybe you like this color. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all going to like a different thing. We're all going to feel a different way about it. But like, I'm looking at that pose right there, see? And then I'm thinking, that's good. That's good. That's really good. That's a fantastic wall crawl. It really is. But if you saw when I reviewed my Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, and I was putting him into like swinging poses and whatnot, that's where it is for me, man. It's going to be a long time before they get me with another Spider-Man. A long time. Like, I don't know how they'll do it. Took me longer to get through it than the length of it. Sometimes that's the way it is, man. Sometimes that's the way it is. Do I like the brown Wolverine? The one that's kind of like orange and brown? I don't hate that Wolverine. That's kind of considered to be a classic Wolverine. I had that Wolverine on the shelf for a while, actually. But his claws, he had those stupid claws that are like wobbly. Because Wolverine claws, they're either good or they're bad. In Marvel Legends, I don't know what they're doing. Every time they get a set of claws that works, I'm like, this is perfect. Then they'll release another Wolverine. They'll have those flimsy little pecker claws that like literally falls down an inch and they break off and they're done forever. And then I hate those. That Tiger Stripe Wolverine had one of those. But I did have that exact one that you're talking about. In fact, the one that broke was Tiger Stripe. He was the one that had the bad claws. I think, and I could be wrong, I think the Wolverine with the red and brown or whatever, or orange and brown or whatever, I think he's still on my shelf. He is still on my shelf. Oh, I was right. I wasn't wrong. He has the bad claws. So here he is. This is that Wolverine. And these claws, you can already see them right there. One of these claws is already kind of broken. See how it wobbles? Oh. I hate these claws. I hate these claws. These are terrible claws. I posed him. I put him up there next to my Year One X-Men, and I never touch him. I don't like to pose him. I don't like to do photo shoots with him. I don't like to mess with him. I don't like it when he falls down from the smallest amount of distance. These claws are frickin' terrible. I'm going to set him down carefully. Do not fall down. Do not fall down. These are good claws. The Wolverine that comes with this, his claws are big. They're like fat. You could argue that maybe that makes them less good or whatever, but they're sturdy. They're not going anywhere. They're like these big, expressive claws where he has these dinky little stabby knives. And I don't know if you can see the difference necessarily, but like, look at that. Do you see the difference in their claws? Do you see that? I hate these claws. They have bothered me since the day I put them on the shelf. This guy was like a straight up godsend when I seen him on the shelf, and that the reason I bought him wasn't because X-Force, it was those claws. I bought him because I found a Wolverine that had decent claws, and I really like the new claws on the 97 Wolverine as well. I think those are absolutely fantastic. I like them a lot. Let's see. Almost finished filling the first shelf in my CD collection, just 3 CDs, and then it's on to the second shelf. Calculating it, the first shelf holds about 147 CDs. That's pretty cool, man. I do like how Logan's name is Wolverine because he's Canadian. Wolverines, the small but vicious berserker critter of Canada. I actually never looked into that. I knew what a Wolverine was, but I didn't know it had like a 100% Canadian reasoning behind him having that name. Okay, let's put these back. Let's get him there. You go back with the first class. Don't fall down. Okay. So yeah, I just don't see it. I don't think that Spider-Man can top the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. Can I find it on here? Maybe not. I'm not going to look for it. Let's see. Mega Man. Oh, these are cool. I have these right now. Literally right now. There it is. I haven't had a chance to open it yet. I haven't had a chance to go through it yet, but there he is. I do have them. I have all 3 of them, so that's really, really cool. Like that's gonna be a big deal. Like for me anyway. And it'll be the very first time that I have put a Mega Man on the shelf. Like, how do I put this? I've been doing this show for a while, and I've been doing a lot of things for a while where people have already caught on to this idea. I use the name Reploid Bill. It comes specifically from Mega Man. That's where the name comes from. And somehow, I have very little Mega Man in my collection anywhere. And there is a reason. Often when I come across Mega Man, I either do not like the toy design, or I do like the toy design, and they're asking like almost $100. So Mega Man falls into this weird category where like, he's cool. That's awesome. I would put that on my shelf. But at the same time, I've had a couple of these figures. I had a Proto Man, a base, and 2 different Mega Mans that were in this figure style. And their legs got all wonky and like weird, and like their guns were like heavy, and like the joints kind of gave out on me. So like you'd put their hand up and then they kind of like fall back down. And that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for buying Mega Man figures. Like for a long, long time. And so I've seen new Mega Man figures that I like. Like this is Mega Man X2 right here. I like Mega Man X2. But I've had a figure in this exact style and his gun weighed his arm down over time. His head was kind of wobbly. And his legs didn't really support his weight, which I'm noticing that all of these guys will often you'll see them like, that's cool, and I'm seeing that they can do all these stands and everything, which makes me feel like maybe these have gotten a lot better. It's been a long time since I've bought a Mega Man figure. The last guys I bought that had this style was early 2000s. We're talking a long time ago, and I'm willing to admit that, but it put a bad enough taste in my mouth that when I see them selling for $80, $60, $74, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna pass on that. Then I seen these guys come out. They're $20, and they're from Jada Toys. That is what got the sell for me. That's it. That's what got it. Because Jada Toys did those 3, and there's more of them now, but they did those 3 Street Fighter figures. And when I bought those, that was it. I'm game on at that point. I trust Jada to make solid product currently. If these Mega Man, if I open him up and he turns out to be shit, me and Jada will have problems. So you get it. I've waited a long time to add a Mega Man back to the shelf, and now I'm going to do it. And if this turns out awesome, I'm going ham on everything they released Jada Toys in terms of the Mega Man scale. If you're telling me every one of these will launch at about $20 and will be solid Mega Mans and will cover the Mega Man legacy, Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4, there's going to be mans on my shelf. It's going to be some straight up mans on the shelf at that point. And I am also looking forward to the new Deadpool movie, even though I don't really like Deadpool. But that gets very confusing because people think that just because I'm not a fan of like Deadpool directly that I played his games, I've read his books, I watch the movies. Like, I like him, but I don't like him in terms of I would go out of my way, call him my favorite character, put him on the shelf or anything like that. Wolf Cub. Oh. Even though Wolverines are not a thing, that's kind of wild. But then again, it's not like we haven't done that here in America with other things. What does Jogman look like? First time I heard of Mega Man was the cartoon. That's fine. That was a pretty good cartoon, actually. Even for its time, it was pretty solid. I mean, it wasn't gonna make you an overnight Mega Man fanatic or anything like that, but it was solid. Honestly, that could be fun to do, comparing names in different countries. It could be. Yeah. But then again, like you say, hilarity and things like that, but like, that's not always true. Sometimes, like, and this is just a minor thing, but like, over here in America in Final Fantasy VI, her name is Terra, and her actual name is Tina, and it feels awkward for me to even call her Tina. I don't like that name. When I play a Final Fantasy VI, if they fixed it and they've changed her name to Tina, I will turn it back to Terra because it doesn't sound right anymore because that's what I'm used to. That's how I see the character now. Most Mavericks or Irregulars in Japanese got incredibly dumb names in the original Japanese. Yeah, Jada Toys is killing it. They're so good. They really are. They're so good, man. Oh, did you? You got Ken? I ordered Ken a long time ago. He'll show up someday. Burn Rooster. Okay, so we had Burn Rooster here, and you guys had Burnin' Cockadoodler? Is that what you just told me? I'll keep my name. If that's what you just told me. In music news, I found out that Kitty is releasing a new song. I heard it's going to be a new album. I read something somewhere that says that they're talking about releasing a new album, and this song is going to be part of it. For the first time in you said 12 years. Yeah, I remember reading something like it's like from like 2005 or something like that. It's been a long, 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 long time since Kitty did anything new release that I could think of. And they're not a band that I follow necessarily, but I know them. So that kind of blew my mind when I heard they were finally coming out with something new. This is one that I was really excited to get from this. He looks like he's going to be, I mean, yeah, we could go ahead and say that Mega Man is supposed to be the star of the line, but like this Fireman, this guy could very well be the coolest figure that they release from Mega Man 1. I guess we could argue that's going to come down to effects. Jada is another thing. $20. They're $20 toys. This guy comes with 2 flame hands, a flame projectile, and a flame head. Like, they're $20 figures. Jada is amazing. And then Mega Man is coming with 2 heads, the blaster, a blaster effect, and multiple hands. And they all come with stands. And the Street Fighter is the same way. And then you've got Iceman here. And Iceman is packing an ice effect, 2 heads, hands, a stand. And that's going to be, that looks like that's going to be standard. That's fine. It also means that I'm curious, it's going to come down to effects, who's the star of the line for Mega Man 1. Because there's not too many left. And will Gutsman be deluxe? Will he be bigger than the others? I'm very curious about that. Cutman, he will have the scissors that he can throw, I imagine. Elecman will probably have like an electric thing that he can that you can shoot or whatever. But yeah, Gutsman, maybe Bomb Man. If Bomb Man came with an explosion, that would be cool. I imagine he'll just have a bomb. But it would be really cool if he came with an explosion. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. Burnin' Cockadoodler. Yeah, I'll keep my name. Okay, so they did have 2 albums. Now, I had the first, and I didn't even know about the second. That's how long it's been since I've heard about them putting out anything new. I don't know. See, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. I know him as Vile. But had I grown up and his name would have been Vava or whatever, I may have been fine with it. It's probably what I'd just be still calling him today. I don't think that necessarily all names just fall into a good and bad category. Sometimes you just get used to the idea that that's the name you've heard. I'm sure it's true with Pokemon too, because Pokemon, they all have different names. But, I mean, what you call them is what you call them. What you grew up with is what you grew up with. Love the music theme of the originals. Original, like Mega Man's? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, rock, roll, blues. No, see, absolutely. Here, he's Mega Man. There he was Rock Man. Roll, still roll. Blues, Proto Man. Forte, bass. And yeah, absolutely. Bass. You get the, you know what I'm talking about. Is there a Dayman? No! No, it's not Sun. I think it's S-O-N. I'm pretty sure it's S-O-N. I think his name is Son Goku. And if I'm not mistaken, in reality, he's one of the only characters in the entirety. He might be the only character with a family name. Because, like, here we get used to the idea that, like, there's Bulma Briefs. That's not actually her name. If I remember right, her name is Bulma, and she doesn't actually have a last name. Her dad's name is Briefs. And so here in America, we just kind of took that because he's Doctor, and he's Dr. Briefs, but he doesn't have a first name or last name. He has a name. His name is Dr. Briefs. He's just Briefs. And then she's just Bulma, and her kid is just Trunks, and he is just Vegeta. Like, they don't have last names. Goku is the only one with a family name. It's just him. And talk about being the main character. You're the only one with 2 names. 6? Oh, I had no idea. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. I haven't heard from him in a long time, though. Last one came out in 2011. That's crazy. But, I mean, if you don't follow something, you're not going to know. So, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Ooh. Remember how I just said I am currently broke, out of money? See that? That is not a Bill thing. That is not a Bill can buy thing. That is a window shopping. That is the reason that this show is called Window Shopping Stream, is because this right here is what we're doing. We're looking at something really cool, and we're going, boy, I would love to have that shit on my shelf. It is not gonna happen. But it sure is cool. Dude, can you imagine having this Skeletor with the Panther and then actually having the He-Man with the Battle Cat on the other side? You could put these on two, like on a shelf, and have like one on one side and one on the other side of the shelf. That would be sick. That would be so, so good. Oh man, that's cool. I love the Havoc staff. That's a crazy question in its own right too, is staves. What are the coolest staves, like in fandom? Well, that's exactly what I was just talking about right there. What are the coolest staves in fandom? We have the Havoc staff. There's Rita's staff. There's Zed's staff. There's of course the Sorceress staff. There's simple staffs like what you would see with like Merlin and things like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like this is really, really interesting to me. I wonder, it would probably be a hard list to put together, but and like where to piece it down exactly with what to cover, but I'm very curious. See, we had Princess Toadstool, so no, we've had her as Toadstool and as Peach. Because when she first came over here, we called her Toadstool as well. Save up. Yeah. Yeah, those statues are no joke, man. Yeah, I've noticed I'll say this. I'm not going to say that I noticed there's a lot of guys doing, a lot of bands coming out with stuff. I'll say that I'm finally taking notice, because for a long time I've just been indifferent about like what's actually releasing in music. I just listen to the things that I like, and then if I hear something new that I like, I listen to that. Like recently, I discovered a playlist. That is amazing. It's amazing, okay? It's just amazing. And you like it. Whether you don't like it or whatever, you like it, okay? Liquid Death, the drink, Liquid Death, the water, that company has 2 in-house bands. They're both kind of metal bands. And what they do is they take hate comments and poor reviews. They take those reviews and they use their in-house bands to turn those comments and reviews into songs. And you can get the playlist, and they're amazing. Like, it is fantastic. I was at work and I was picking, and I spent an entire 8 hours just listening to these bands throw these comments back in people's faces with some of the best lyrics I've heard. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Havoc Staff, or the name we got, the Stick of Bones. Oh, no, I'll stick with Havoc Staff. Donatello's Bow Staff. I mean, it's a simple stick, but it is an iconic thing. Think about how many times you have picked up like a broom or something like that, and immediately you're like, Donatello. Like that's a real thing. He might have the most iconic stick in the history of fandom. Donatello might be the one with the most recognizable stick. I found the original Japanese Maverick names, and wow, this is a treasure trove of interesting. Okay. This is the last thing I'm looking at, and then I'm going to be signing out for the night because I got stuff I do have to do tomorrow. It sounds like it's going to be a fairly busy day. This Mega Man, I am fighting with myself about it. It's from a company named 3Zero. And I already talked about this. I had a bad taste for Mega Man toys for a long time. But this is only $40. If it turns out to not be very good, oh well. It looks like the art style, this is a personal note, it feels like the Mega Man from Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what I get when I look at him. That's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like video game Mega Man. It feels like the Marvel vs. Capcom Mega Man. And I'm fine with that. It's kind of cool. I do like his effect. I like his charge shot blue shoot, but I could argue that it's maybe supposed to be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I like his overall design. He's lanky, he's small, he's cool, he feels right. I like that, where he's kind of got this like hard lean to him and everything. I like his big giant legs. He aesthetically, he's Mega Man. He works for me. Like, I like that he has a lot of posability. I'm into this. Oh, I love that he comes with an E-Tank. Now, the real question. Okay, he's a faceplate swap. So the head doesn't come off. He's one of those figures that swaps faces. That's fine. I've got a couple of those. Not too many, but I've got a couple of those. I've got a Skeletor that does that, and I've got a Dark Wolf that does that. He'll come with an E-Tank, the blast, a couple of hands, the gun. In all honesty, once I put the gun on him, I'm never using the hands ever again. That's just the way I am. He'll go on the shelf with the gun. He's Mega Man. He has a gun hand. I like this. 4 inches. Ooh. He will scale with nothing. Literally nothing on my shelf. Unless you'd like to argue a point. And maybe I'm at a point where I'm like self-justifying or whatever. Maybe he would work on the shelf because canonically, Mega Man is small. So if I put him next to characters that are bigger in a 6-inch scale or maybe even a 7-inch scale, if he appears tiny, he is tiny. You get where I'm going with that? So he would still kind of fit on the shelf alongside a lot of my other cool stuff, and I don't think that it would hurt anything. I don't know. But he is really cool. Like, he's really cool. A lot of death metal bands, I'm surprised, can drop anything. You spend your entire life screaming. Like, some of those guys are lucky is what they are. Like, they really are. Because, like, I'll tell you, I've seen people that go into the, like, 30s and 40s and need throat surgeries, like vocal surgeries, because, like, they played in metal bands. Like, that does no favors for your voice box. Let's see. Though I do have to give Napalm Records some crap releasing physical CDs, and, well, they're all out to save money, dude. They don't care about us. They don't care about your collection. Last Maverick name, Dark Mantis. Dark Side Kill Mantis? Ooh. Mmm. Mmm. I'm fighting with myself here. They may have won. I kind of like Darkseid, Darkseid, Kill Mantis. They may have won. Oh, I don't have Manny faces. But I think Manny faces. I think you're right. I think he's a face swap character as well. The head doesn't come off because he's got that box thing around him. I think you're right. One of the Mavericks is a Gundam reference. Neo Tiger, Neon Tiger. How about Shining Tigerdom? Okay, and then maybe to be fair, when I look at him, and I'd have to look at him. I'd have to refresh my memory. When I look at him, maybe that's awesome. Some of these could be better names than what we got, arguably, but at the same time, it's going to be very much a preference. Okay, so I think that's it for me tonight. I'm not doing a crazy one tonight. Looks like I'm an hour and 30 minutes in. I got started a half an hour late. I do apologize. I try to make these 2 hours, but that is what it is. Sometimes your life comes first, and that's very much what happened. But I did post a video this morning, which was a giant video, which was a literally building Eternia. Like, I built the entire Eternian playset in as much real time as I was willing to have people sit through, because that's a lot. Like when I was doing things like, I'm going to put this together or root through the boxes or throw things away or put all the stickers on or yada yada, I kind of made cuts to kind of make it manageable so people could watch it. That thing is, it's so big. Like, I can't stress enough how crazy that thing is. And after I got done with it, I came upstairs, got my stuff together. I had to go get my kid. I brought my kid back. My kid goes out to the garage. And then she comes in and she's like, holy crap. She sees it and then she's out there wanting to play with it. And she's playing with Moat Monster and she's playing with the rail, like the travel rail and everything. And doing all kinds of stuff, and she was in there taking the Moat Monster and putting him on the rail cart so he would like fly around the Eternia and whatnot. It's so cool, man. It's so cool. That is easily one of the coolest things I freaking own. Like, it is, man. And I know that I paid big money for it, so maybe it's a self-justification. You could argue, but it's hard to explain how cool it is. I mean, it is tremendous. It's so big, so wide, and there's so much stuff you can do with it. And it's designed so specifically to fit with Grayskull and Snake Mountain that if I can get it all on the same table, it's going to be a freaking masterpiece. But I think that's enough, guys. I'm going to get out of here later on. Thanks for hanging out with me. Later on.